think he's weird. I think he's
like, well, no, like what an interesting presidency though. You have, like, think about this. He's famous for hunting and cattle ranching, and he's a cowboy, and yet he's all about conservation.
Yeah,
he fights in a war, and he's about war, and he wins a Nobel Peace Prize.
Right.
Builds one of the biggest fleets the world gets to see at this time, and touring and showing off our military might. Like, he's a Republican for businesses, right? Capitalism.
Right.
And yet he's the trust buster, trust regulator.
Right.
He's just one giant paradox of a man.
Yeah.
It's funny. There's like people who, they're usually anti-capitalists and anti-war people who are like,
Yep.
yeah, people usually create the thing that they fear the most. Like men of peace create, machines of war, stuff like that. I'm like,
Sure.
I think that's a very
Stupid
stupid way of looking at it, because it's not necessarily like you are protecting the thing that is important to you and to do it. Like if you're a hunter, like that's being a conservationist is actually extremely common for hunters.
Absolutely.
Why?
Yep.
Because you want to keep hunting.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
only way to do
Why
that
do you
is to
think
be
we have so-
responsible for doing that.
Yeah,
right?
conservation is, it gets most of its funding
Yeah.
from hunting and fishing.
And then you look at like
Licenses and
war is the
tags.
other one. It's like if you want peace, you have to understand that you
Prepare.
have to fight for
Yeah,
peace. So
prepare
you
for
better
war.
prepare for
What's
war.
the
Like,
Latin
yeah.
something parabellum?
Yeah, it's been used a lot. I don't remember what the actual like Latin phrase is though.
I can't remember that, but parabellum means prepare for war. I can't remember what if you want peace.
If you want peace, prepare for
I
war.
should know this, being
You
at
you
a
should.
classical school, man.
But I do think it's
I had a
interesting how
second,
like
I'd
we
remember it.
know that from like other figures in history, and
Yep.
like
Yeah.
he is definitely holding to that same kind of
Yes, he
standard
is.
where it's
Sure.
like you can see what is important to somebody by where they're actually putting efforts
Yep.
to protect the thing that is important to them. And so, yeah,
Which, by the way, if you show up the picture that you have right there,
yeah,
these
right?
one of the coolest pictures. I think it's just amazing. Anyone who's been to this national park knows what that is. Anyone know what national park that is?
That's like California, isn't it?
It is in California.
Yeah, that's
Is that Angel Falls?
Yosemite Valley.
Yosemite?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's Yosemite. Yeah.
Is that
And
what fall
who's
is
next
that?
to
Let
him
me see.
in the other picture?
I don't
Do you guys know who
know.
I
that
have
is?
no idea.
That is a
ZZ
fellow.
Top.
That is a no. That is a fellow by the name of John Muir. He's the father of conservation in the United
All right.
States. He started the Sierra Club. He was a brilliant man. He was an inventor, worked in factory, and then one
Angel Falls in
day
Venezuela.
something happened and he got hit in the eye with something. He almost went blind. They thought he was going to be permanently blind. He wasn't. Got his sight back after like I think a month. And he said after that, he just decided he never wanted to work in a factory again. He just literally picked up what he could and just walked out his door and went wandering into the wilds. And that's what he did for his whole life, was just explore and found all these beautiful, amazing areas. And he was one who petitioned Teddy Roosevelt to make Yosemite a national park and walked through it
Yeah.
and walked through. It's a amazing, really cool story. Another man that I think we'll look at is John Muir,
Yeah.
but father of conservation in the United States.
And by the way, like, I don't know if you guys haven't been to Yosemite, it is absolutely beautiful. It is
one of a kind.
Yes,
place.
it is. I mean, the redwoods, and I went when I was 16 and got to stand under the sequoias, and it was just like
It's unbelievable.
mind-boggling. Yeah. So I mean, just really cool that he has not only the power but the foresight and the enjoyment of nature and love of it
Yep.
to want to preserve something so beautiful. That's amazing.
And how interesting is it? It's the poster man for masculinity.
Yeah.
Just this love and appreciation for the beauty of the